Good morning, Brigadier General Donahue, Command Sergeant Major Canada, Colonel Jones, Command Sergeant Major Cavalier, Colonel Dodu, Colonel Shepard, Master Sergeant Martin, Commanders, Command Sergeants Major, and distinguished guests. On behalf of Colonel Benjamin Jones, Commander, United States Army Garrison Ansbach, and Command Sergeant Major Derek R. Cavalier, welcome to today's Assumption of Responsibility ceremony for Lieutenant Colonel Tracey E. Smith and Sergeant Major Ernest Peterson as they assume new Installation Management Command responsibilities for base operations at Camp Mihail Kogalniceanu, Romania, and Novo Selo training area, Bulgaria. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the invocation and the playing of the Romanian and United States of America national anthems. Today's official party consists of Colonel Benjamin Jones, Commander, United States Army Garrison Ansbach, Command Sergeant Major Derek Cavalier, Command Sergeant Major, United States Army Garrison Ansbach, Lieutenant Colonel Tracey E. Smith, Incoming Site Manager for Base Operations at Camp Mihail Kogalniceanu and Novo Selo Training Area, and Sergeant Major Peterson, Incoming Sergeant Major for Base Operations at Camp Mihail Kogalniceanu and Novo Selo Training Area. Today's invocation will be given by Black Sea Area Support Team Chaplain, Chaplain Crawford.
Please join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, I come before you on this special occasion to ask your blessing and to acknowledge your presence among us. I pray that this ceremony will provide a fitting start to the IMCOM leadership team's assumption of command of these bases in Romania and Bulgaria. Please grant your wisdom to Lieutenant Colonel Smith and Command Sergeant Major Peterson as they make decisions that will impact the lives of the service members and DoD employees they lead, as well as the civilians affected by the operations conducted at these sites. I pray too that the warm and professional working relations we have enjoyed with our host nations, both in Romania and in Bulgaria, will continue to produce effective communications, enduring trust, and mutual respect. We are grateful for the opportunity to serve side by side with their military professionals, and thank you for their commitment and tireless dedication to sustaining freedom across their lands. I pray also for an environment of cooperation to characterize all the efforts of the units, staffs, agencies, and organizations that work together here and in Bulgaria. Help us, Lord, to embody the values that we espouse. Great God and Father of the nations, we acknowledge your power and rule over countries and all those who lead and serve them. I pray that your wisdom and guidance will provide the direction that all people need to live together in mutual respect and harmony. And I ask this to the glory of your great name. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. United States military forces began working with the Romanian military in the late 1990s, with U.S. Special Operations Forces working to bolster their Romanian counterparts' special operations programs. In April 2003, Marine General James L. Jones, Commander, U.S. European Command, and Supreme Allied Commander Europe, testified before Congress of the need for the European Command to shift west, back toward the continental United States, shift south toward Africa, and shift east to forward operating bases with our new NATO partners. This strategic direction led to the development of the Eastern European Task Force concept, envisioned as a joint capable, deployable command and control headquarters that would not have permanently assigned combat troops, but which would command rotational forces operating out of sites in Romania. This conceptual framework led to a defense cooperation agreement being signed with Romania in 2005 and Bulgaria in 2006. This was followed in 2007 by a Phase 1 proof of principle and a 2008 unit rotation, which were successful in validating the Eastern European Task Force concept. Later designated Joint Task Force East, this was the predecessor of today's Black Sea Area Support Team. Also in 2007, construction commenced at Mihail Kogalniceanu Air Base for a permanent forward operating site to provide necessary life and training support facilities to support up to 1,600 troops at any given time. In the years since Joint Task Force East and later the Black Sea Area Support Team have expanded that capability. In Bulgaria, construction on a similar permanent forward operating site at the Novo Selo training area commenced in the winter of 2009 and was completed in 2012. The U.S.-funded facility is designed for 2,500 troops, providing 77 fully functional turnkey-type facilities with associated roads and infrastructure. This location is linked to the Bulgarian Army's Novo Selo training range and provides backgate access to a world-class range and training area that can support Abrams tanks, Bradley fighting vehicles, Apache helicopters, as well as light infantry and artillery live fire and other training opportunities. In 2013, Mihail Kogalniceanu Air Base was designated to take over passenger transit operations from Manas, Kyrgyzstan, in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. From 2013 to 2014, 984 flights, 11,000 tons of air cargo, and 158,000 passengers were processed through the facility. Given this performance and Mihail Kogalniceanu Air Base's close proximity to extensive road, rail and sea port cargo handling capabilities, the U.S. Transportation Command designated the forward operating site as a primary intermodal hub supporting U.S. and NATO activities in southeastern Europe. In 2015, the Black Sea Area Support Team began to support exercises such as Atlantic Resolve South. Today, that mission continues, with multinational exercise support being provided at both sites to events such as Trident Jaguar 17 with the French Army and Sabre Guardian 17 with the United States Army Europe and up to 40,000 troops across Eastern Europe. In 2016, United States Army Europe decided to pursue making both sites enduring installations and partnered with Installation Management Command Europe to develop a concept plan for Installation Management Command Europe to staff and operate a U.S. Army garrison light, providing base operations support at both locations on a permanent basis, with long-term military and civilian personnel to provide that support under the command and control of U.S. Army Garrison Ansbach. Having an Installation Management Command presence would allow the Black Sea Area Support Team as the senior mission element to focus on the increasing numbers of exercises and other activities being conducted at both bases, and would be able to leverage Installation Management Command Europe expertise and capabilities to operate across base operations missions. Today's ceremony marks a significant milestone towards that goal with the assumption of responsibility of an Installation Management Command Lieutenant Colonel as site manager to oversee the continued establishment and eventual transfer of enduring base operations functions to Installation Management Command. Also integral to that goal is the addition of a Sergeant Major to the leadership team, providing the same level of installation command oversight that rotational units can expect from their home station. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time it is my pleasure to introduce the commander of the United States Army Garrison Ansbach, Colonel Benjamin Jones.
Good morning. Brigadier General Donahue, Colonel Shepard, Colonel Dodu, Command Sergeant Major Canada, Sergeant Major Ayala, and other distinguished guests, thank you for joining us for today's ceremony. This is a historic day for the U.S. Army Garrison Ansbach, Camp Mihail Kogalniceanu, Camp Novo Selo Training Area, and the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Today marks an important step in our continued push towards stability and security in Eastern Europe. It is an important step for the U.S. Army and an important step for NATO. We welcome a new leadership team, 2 highly qualified and experienced soldiers who stand ready to meet the challenges we must face together and who are poised to ensure our work here is successful. These leaders proudly join a history and heritage of service and peacekeeping going all the way back to April 4th, 1949, when the member nations first signed the North Atlantic Treaty. The purpose of NATO's creation was, at that time, to deter Soviet expansionism, to stamp out any potential revival of nationalist militarism here in Europe through a strong North American presence, and to encourage European political integration. Times have certainly changed in Europe in the 68 years since then. New governments have formed, alliances have shifted, borders have been redrawn, and missions have been refocused, but some things have remained the same. NATO remains strong, and our collective mission to safeguard the freedom and security of our fellow alliance member countries has not wavered. As reaffirmed at the NATO Warsaw Summit in 2016, NATO's essential mission is to ensure the alliance remains an unparalleled community of freedom, peace, security, and shared values, including individual liberty, human rights, democracy, and the rule of law. During that summit, a renewed emphasis was placed on deterrence and collective defense, as well as enhanced forward presence. 28 member countries in Europe and North America are now part of the NATO alliance. Together, Camps MK Romania and NSTA Bulgaria are uniquely positioned to support that strategic concept of deterrence and collective defense. Camp MK's strategic location and capabilities are critical to speed of assembly and power projection, as it is developing into the premier power projection platform and logistics hub. It also possesses critical life support facilities. The decision for Installation Management Command to take on management responsibility for the base operations at Camp MK and NSTA was for the same reason that IMCOM performs those functions at U.S. installations around the globe. That is to have a team of trained professionals performing the base operation functions in order to free up the operational commanders to focus on their core mission sets without having to run the day-to-day base operations. While we are still building out our team at Camp MK and NSTA, the arrival of these 2 leaders brings us that much closer to achieving full operational capability, which is scheduled for July of 2017. Leading that team is Lieutenant Colonel Tracey E. Smith. Lieutenant Colonel Smith, who began her career in the Army as an enlisted soldier in June of 1990 and quickly transitioned into the officer ranks in the military intelligence field. She has an impressive balance of experience and education, and she's highly motivated to be here to enable our collective success. Lieutenant Colonel Smith has held a long list of leadership positions, with her last assignment serving with the Service Chiefs Fellows Program at the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency in Alexandria, Virginia. For those of you experienced with working with DARPA, you know that they are known for solving problems, especially unconventional ones. I'm confident that Lieutenant Colonel Smith will be drawing from her whole kit bag to help overcome any challenges that you all might encounter. And of course, my team and I will be standing with you shoulder to shoulder to help you succeed. Sergeant Major Ernest S. Peterson comes to us from Fort Bliss, Texas, home of the 1st Armored Division, where he last served as the division's Special Troops Battalion Command Sergeant Major. Sergeant Major Peterson has a distinguished career that started when he enlisted in the Army in September 1989 as a petroleum supply specialist. He quickly moved up through the ranks, taking on important leadership tasks that have since equipped him with the knowledge, skills, and ability to lead from the front and take care of all those under his watch. He is mission-oriented, experienced, and well-educated, and I could not have picked a better senior enlisted advisor for this role. Lieutenant Colonel Smith and Sergeant Major Peterson both realize they have a lot of work ahead of them with plenty of challenges on the horizon. That's part of what being an Army leader is all about, finding innovative solutions to challenges. Another essential part of being in the Army is working together as a team, and as a team we have each other's backs and we set each other up for success. For any team, leaders are a vital component. Speaking of teams, you also have a strong partner in the Black Sea AST under the command of Colonel Shepard. And as I highlighted earlier, our role is to take on those base ops support requirements to free up the operational commander, Colonel Shepard, to be able to focus on his operational mission. I know you will provide excellent support and be excellent teammates with the Black Sea AST and also our Romanian hosts. Colonel Dodu, thank you for the outstanding support that you and your team have provided and continue to provide. Lieutenant Colonel Smith and Sergeant Major Peterson, you both have my full support and that of my U.S. Army Garrison Ansbach staff. I am happy we have both of you here, two very capable leaders. I'm confident in your ability to get the job done, and I'm looking forward to being there for you when you need us. I am asking all of you to enable their success, just as I know they will work hard to enable yours. Thank you. Strong Europe.
Ladies and gentlemen, the site manager for base operations at Camp Mihail Kogalniceanu and Novo Selo training area, Lieutenant Colonel Tracey E. Smith.
I'd like to thank everyone for being here today and joining us in this historic event of establishing yet another IMCOM installation. A special welcome to Brigadier General Donahue, Sergeant Major Ayaya, Command Sergeant Major Canada, Colonel Dodo, Bună dimineața și mulțumesc prietenas Statelor Unite. Colonel Jones, Sergeant Major Cavalier, Colonel Shepard, and Sergeant Major Martin. Sergeant Major Peterson and I thank all the folks that could not be here today due to our remote location. We know that you are with us in heart and spirit. I'm totally ecstatic to be standing before you today to take on this great responsibility of transforming Camp Mihail Kogalniceanu and Novo Selo training area into a fully functioning and capable installations while welcoming all the challenges, failures, and successes that accompany their metamorphosis. Our goal is to build a cohesive team capable of providing installations with realistic and challenging training areas, representative of superior customer service, while providing suitable quality of life to support and train the rugged professional and NATO partners to achieve and emphasize Army power projection and to deter enemy aggression in the face of the adversary. I was a USAG Company commander at Fort Wayne, Alaska, under the old Installation Management Agency, owning some 350 mission and installation soldiers with 2 separate commanders and units in 3 locations throughout Alaska. So I understand fully the complexity of the state that we are in and where we need to go. I thoroughly enjoyed the challenges of commanding at the company level and only wanted to undertake that charge at the battalion level, and I am fortunate enough to have that opportunity. The Army selected me to lead at the battalion level and is supposed to give increased levels of responsibility. However, I now only have 2 locations and 1 soldier, a sergeant major, and several civilians. Either the Army questions my ability to lead troops, or my 1 sergeant major is so challenged that he represents the trials and tribulation of those 350 soldiers and more. Only time will tell. I'm proud to be the first IMCOM military leader of MK and NSTA. How many times do you go to an installation where you blame the officer before you? This place is all messed up. My take is I can't do any worse than the officer before me because there is none. So we only have upwards to go. I'd like to draw your attention to this jar, rather ordinary jar, with lots of potential. From your standpoint, it looks clean. But if we examine it, it has many flaws, and it is actually dirty. But if we look past those imperfections and try to fix what we can, clean it, and start looking at the positive capabilities of the potential of this jar, it can become quite invaluable. It's not only the exterior that matters, it's what goes in the jar that's important. I look to my permanent staff members and those that have served in a TDY status to achieve awesome milestones thus far. Thank you for what you have accomplished this far and what you will accomplish in the future. My deputies, Steve Povolitis and Ms. Julia Sevilla, you guys have moved mountains transforming this into a professional, ethical, and functioning facility. Thanks to the Black Sea AST for your contributions thus far, and look forward to your continued support, teamwork, and emphasis to make transition successful. And to each successive unit, no matter what size or capability that comes, know that you add positive value and input to help educate and train our allies and become better and stronger. Our NATO partners, we appreciate the use of your basing and for understanding our strategic importance of this united partnership to respond to crisis while combating enemy aggression. We have much to learn from each other and appreciate the continued camaraderie. Little messy, sorry. My leadership, Sir Major Peterson, my right-hand man. We're in a bumpy ride, and I look forward to all the good that we will do. Colonel Jones and Mr. Formica, who couldn't be here today, I look forward to your tutelage and guidance in this endeavor. I pray that our senior leaders continue to guide us in this great nation and to lead us to peace and prosperity. The ping pong balls set the foundation for the building blocks and allows others to find their way. The rocks of all sizes and shapes mold around the balls after the foundation has been set and continue to build on the strength of the structure. The sand binds all the balls and rocks and helps cement them in place. For without the stand, we would be unstable and have no foundation. The water fuses the whole concoction together and smooths any imperfection. So the mixture grows and becomes solid and resolute with each drop, but not too much water that it overflows, it is wasted or watered down. All contents conform without going outside of their boundaries. You will see before you a fully cohesive and integrated mixture with no holes or gaps. For the mathematicians and engineers in the group, do you realize that this mixture can consist of a 4 factorial outcome with no fathomable relationship, meaning 24 possible outcomes with only 23 that will not allow elements to blend together. If any of the contents were added before each other, you would not achieve parity, and one would overpower the other and create an imbalance. Only one outcome allows for complete cohesion, unity, cooperation that is solid, resolute, and firm. I know I have the components of this jar and look forward to the outcome of this mixture. While reading some Romanian history, I came up with a moniker befitting me. Valve is a female spirit in Romanian folklore. The Valve are believed to walk over the hilltops at night and conform to human form or other forms and considered protectors or guardians and equally punish the bad. So I proudly choose the moniker Valve 6 to demonstrate the well-intentions and good that me and my team will accomplish. So, sir, without further ado, Valve 6 stands ready to serve. God bless the United States, our families, our soldiers, and our allies. Thank you. All existing policies and procedures remain in effect.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the Army Song. On behalf of the Commander of the United States Army Garrison Ansbach, we want to thank you for your attendance at today's Assumption of Responsibility ceremony for Lieutenant Colonel Smith and Sergeant Major Peterson. Lieutenant Colonel Smith and Sergeant Major Peterson will host a reception at the back of the theater. Thank you for joining us on this important occasion. Sustain, support, and defend.